finely stacked doesn't matter. The order you screw it.
Not really, but I like to do the front corners first. And then I kind of like to have those end feet secured first with the front. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because these do flex a little bit, right, the feet.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like end up sitting down with it kind of like under flex.
If it's all possible. Dooby doo 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 doo.
go. Got the up-step rail on, got all the parts on. Let's load that puppy up. This is the Steinway B action we're putting back into its home after torturing it. Let me, yeah. I can open the door or we can carry it up together, whatever you want. Landon, do you mind if these guys hang out with you for a minute?
Absolutely not. Never know how to answer that question.
I absolutely don't.
Absolutely do not mind at all.
Oops. Open the door first, Mark. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. I'll check, see if anyone has any comments or questions. Doesn't look like it at this point. Let us know if you're curious about anything or want to know what's going on or anything, really. Right, Landon?
Right.
Okay. This is a long pin block fitting project, by the way. I don't know if did you show it at all.
Not today.
It's kind of a bear of a project, yeah. Anyway, he's working on. We'll continue working on that till we nail it. Here we go. just continuing to hang hammers. I had to reduce these shanks down lower so that I could fit the hammer on. We're ending up hanging these hammers a lot shorter than normal. Just what works with the sound on this piano. That's what we're prioritizing, is the sound. So I just need 2 end samples of this section. It's just this section that we're hanging that far forward. And then I can put them on the jig. So that one looks good. I'm going to do another sample on number 72 here. I just took this off because then I could get my calipers in there to get a good accurate measurement. I'll do the same thing here just so I can get my calipers in. And we want 72. This section is being hung at a different distance than this section, which is hung at a different section distance than this section. Not typical, but it's a D. It's worth making right, you know. This, like that first tenor section, first treble section is less than 5 inches, which is a little not typical, but it does sound good. So I'm sticking to it. And then let's see, what's this one set to? This one is, let's see, is it 5? Right at 5 inches. So these are like 5 inches, 5 inches, 5 inches, a little less than 5. I'm going to go ahead and put a center line on this. I like to do 2 dots. It's easy to center by eye between the felts. Then I just check against the ruler. Center line. That's it right there. Nailed it. This glue's going to be loose for a little bit, so there's not a lot I can do till it firms up a little bit more than that. So then I guess I can put this shank back on. Got a little fuzzy in there. It's a little more firm. Want it at 90 degrees to the shank. That center line I made. It's looking close. Check it again in a minute. Meanwhile, our 1901 Model A is ready, getting close to going out the door. So I'm gonna be collecting on that. Hopefully. So is it getting anywhere you feel like, Landon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to show, so
So it's paying off.
it's paying off.
Do you like that bigger radius tool than the little one?
Yeah. For this I do.
Just because it makes it flatter, or what?
Yeah, and I'm taking off like at this point I stopped planing this side. I'm just sanding it. And it's easier to like keep the angle that I created when I have this bigger surface rather than like hacking at it with a little.
Does it take off faster though, or is it about the same, or less? Or...
I think it does take off faster. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because I mean, grit is more coarse, I guess, but also just feels more powerful.
Got it. My computer for that. Check this square one more time. And then I need to start preparing to. There's a piano we're doing a soundboard on, so I need to start prepping for that. It's a new service we're offering with the soundboard, the new soundboard installation. So kind of have to tool up and get ready for that. And I never had any intention of doing soundboards here in the shop, new soundboards. I always just figured I would farm that out, but turned out one of our main suppliers to go to, so we would have had to do that work, might not be available, and so it just made sense with how many we're getting into to get into that work. So this will actually be my first time doing it myself. I've done it in other contexts or other portions of it in repairs and things. So, but there's a supply company, Bull Dude Pianos. They have a really good procedure laid out. They duplicate the soundboard. They send you all the components and have an instructional video how to do it. And so I'm going to be going through that video in more detail now that we've gotten our new soundboard back. Just gonna let that dry for a second. I'll show you the piano we're gonna do. I'll pull it out. Which one are we gonna do for church piano, right?
The one we have right now is Zelda.
Oh, Zelman. That's right. It's stripped, right? Yeah. That's true.
No, I don't know what it is. It was totaled out, yeah. No, Chris was. And, that's why I was saying that. No, I mean, I wouldn't do as well on it, I'm guessing. So I'm just kind of sit tight, but. Probably not right now, but I'll keep it in mind for sure. Okay, yeah, so this piano, it's been stripped because it's going to be refinished, of course. But we've got we put a new pin block in it, but we don't drill them for the tuning pinholes till the very end. But so yeah, the old soundboard's gutted out. And then we've got a new soundboard in the crate we've got to pull out and prepare to install that. So I've got a little bit of homework to do and tooling up a little bit before we can do that successfully. So the first thing was just to pull it out and see where we were at, Check this out, just in the apron here in the back. Some pretty obvious cracking, splitting. Otherwise, pretty good. I would love to sure that up before we cover it up and have harder time repairing it. Maybe I'll try and take that apron off, actually. If I have it off as a separate piece, we can clamp it all up, repair it really solid, then replace it, make sure we feel comfortable about the structure of the leg and holding it and everything. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to jack it up in the back here and take off the leg. leg is pretty split up.
So just thinking ahead.
Yeah.
We want to have the soundboard on right now before locking or locking somewhere after.
Just put the blocking and soundboard after that way.
So driving up to
Hold on.
So that
If it does, it'd be for better.
should I just like this fill up?
So now,
That
oh, so we need more. We use our epoxy. We need some more. Or actually, what we said was, what I told you, right, is the thicker stuff. So just do the thicker stuff with the weak gun. Get it flush where we can, that could be sanded or just with a little bit of Bondo, we can make that flat. Let's do that as the next step. And then the pin lock, of course, being fit. Then once those two steps are ready, then we'll send them to the closet. Yeah, but, yes. That sounds like a plan to me. Too bad about this, huh? It's a fun thought. It's kind of milky. It's kind of cloudy. It's still cool. Yeah, but it's still the color. It's gonna be cloudy. Yeah, well, maybe another application upside down. Another bottle. And then polish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not throwing it away. That's for sure. No way. It says it has battery left, but it doesn't. Out of drill battery here for a second. Let's see if there's any questions. 1:30 here. Let's see. Let's see if there's any questions. Nope, just Jesse Balboa saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Just trying to get this apron off of here so we can do a repair on that crack. I'm going to break that out of there. I can tell it's already starting to fit. Oh yeah.
It's compacting all of the mountains a little bit further.
Oh, you're so close.
So it's like getting
And even if it's tiny floaty, honestly, they come that way.
really.
Yeah. So maybe focus more. Well, maybe it's focus. You know.
Yeah. But it's
Well,
like
maybe you
it's
should
coming
set-
down fast at this point.
Okay.
Should I?
No, don't settle.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm on camera. No, we never settle, Landon. Just kidding. All right, I'm gonna try and bust this out. That did absolutely nothing for me. Let's see what's being held by. Okay, that moved a little bit. That piece. It's just glued really good on the around the rim, I believe. I don't think we're fighting against any hardware at this point. Yeah. There. That's what I mean. This thing was like splintering up to pieces. So now we can get to where we can glue this piece up, make it one again, and then we can re-glue it to the posts in the rim. and have a situation that I'm not nervous when the piano's being rolled around. You know what I mean? So that's good news. For now, I'm going to reposition the jack with a board so the piano's not going to come down on us. But that at least tells us, you know, next steps. I want to get that mended before we start worrying about putting in the board for sure. And that was the only major cracking I saw. Sometimes we'll see them on the posts, the rim. I didn't see anything like that, but you know, we can always tip it over if the rim has cracks and put some glue in there. So let me get a board to suspend that on. Piano's pretty light at this point. There we go. So we'll work on getting this clamped up when I get onto this. This was just kind of a diversion while I was waiting for the hammers to dry. Well, I don't want to clamp that and ruin my rounding. Oh, that's the problem for another day. I need to make a board shake with that curvature so it doesn't damage when we clamp it up. So we'll go back to hanging hammers now. Now that my samples are dry. I'm gonna wash my hands off before I feel these. Okay, my hands are clean for new parts. And the glue's dry enough. We can start hanging these. Where we want them. So we're going to set up this jig here. Remember, these are the different lengths, so we're not gonna hang those yet. Just the top section for the D. There we go. There we go. Are you hot? Oh, the thing blew out?
What?
Did it trip?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It overheated.
The air,
I should have the door open. This door. But I forgot.
the air compressor got too hot and it tripped the thermal shut-off switch, so maybe it's time to start using the AC in here. We're only in May, but we've heated up a little bit this week. I'm gonna shut our front door and turn on the AC for a sec.
It is 74 in here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here in a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got this set up the way we want. Got my hammers here. I'll watch the number on them. Oh, this is the worst. My shanks are too long to come out of the jig, unfortunately. All the way to about there. So I have to cut these shanks down a little bit in order to make it work. Let me get the Dremel. Did you say Dallin's not coming in then today? Or you didn't know?
He said he was planning on it. I haven't heard
Oh.
otherwise.
I'm gonna cut out a little earlier for band concert. Jay has a band concert tonight. Damn, get my safety specs. You had a good lunch today? No? My lunch was also my breakfast.
Efficient.
Yeah. I feel unsafe. Oh, never mind, it's not. I thought this disc was wobbling, but it's not. There, now I can drop my shanks in there. This one. Okay. Now we're set. This jig takes the brains out of hanging hammer straight, which I appreciate, given my current brain circumstances. guess you still have to check to make sure that they're straight, you know. A little bit on the top here.
I failed.
They didn't have them? Oh no. Darn it.
Where are the screws that we pulled
That's what I was gonna say.
If they're steel, I can just polish them up.
Let's check the box. Is the Tupperware there?
Well, that's not happening. That's this one.
It's right here. Are we gonna do that? You think it's just a temporary thing, or are they going to discontinue those? Those screws. You think it's just temporary, or are they going to discontinue those?
I don't know. They didn't have them at the Ace that I went to, and they didn't seem to have really anything. They didn't have brass ones like this.
Did you go to the Murray one?
Yeah. They have to find a better source, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you polish up here.
Yeah. I like it. Oh wow, really nice too. Hey Mark. Hello? Yeah, what's up? 4669. $26. Yep. You bet, thanks.
How'd your thought go?
I mean, I think it went okay.
Good.
I think people thought it went better than what I thought, so.
Yeah, people were telling me, oh, I really enjoyed that. That was a great talk. I was like, I heard all the babies crying, thinking, well, I've overstayed my welcome.
I just tell you, that's nice of you to say. Yeah, so there was a youth speaker. He finished his in a paragraph. And then there's another brother speaking before me. And he spoke like for a little bit. And then the primary sang, kids sang, and then I had like 15 minutes. I was only supposed to have 10.
So,
But it
I had
worked out.
planned to have 15 minutes. Because last time I tried to speak, the brother that went before me used his time and my time. And so I literally had 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so this time I told him, and that's happened to me now twice.
Yep.
And so I told my counsel who's in charge of getting speakers, I said, yes, let's get 2 youth speakers, and then we'll have the primary sing a couple songs, and then that should get you to about 15 minutes. Well, everything went really quick. I get up there, I have half an hour. So I took, fortunately, a member of the New State Presidency was there, and I asked him, "Do you want to say some words?" He's like, "Yeah, first time." So I spoke for about 18 minutes and gave him the rest of it.
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, my wife wasn't mad at me. I don't think any of the women were mad at me.
Okay.
So on Mother's Day, that's a hit, right?
So my saving grace, yeah, because you don't want to. I think women hate hearing stories that make them feel bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was a perfect mother. I get it, right? So the story I shared, which I told you, the good thing about it was when she got to Utah, she sat and wept for a night because it wasn't.
It wasn't what she was hoping.
Yeah, it wasn't what she was hoping for.
Yeah.
So, but she stuck with it. So I had a lot of women saying, "Oh, that was good to see a human response."
Yes. It's good to be human
Yeah.
when talking to other humans.
And I have one brother who wants to go to the temple for the first time. He's got to be in his 60s.
Wow.
So
All because of your Mother's Day talk?
I don't know if it was only. I hope not.
So yeah, you do have to kind of watch these that they're straight here, these hammers. I'm not so worried about like twist left and right, because we can fix that later. Spacing, we can fix all that later. Main thing is just that strike line. That's what we want, that highest point on the hammer, just beep, right in the line. So now we're gonna let that dry for a sec. We want to make something we can clamp this with. And I'm thinking just a short block. This just contoured to that round feature right there. Maybe three. Maybe I'll make three. So I just need this to trace it. Look at this apron, Christoph. It's totally just cracked up.
Oh,
And so I took it off. I was like, we can take it off and make it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make some calls so we can clamp it.
Yeah, you can also, if you want to, put
Oh, we do that in addition to the
or you can use this. Or you can just cut it.
Do you want to do it? Do you want a job?
Okay. The only reason
You're
why
the expert.
the only reason why I suggest it is because you have screws running through it. That's what cracked,
Yeah,
and it's gonna put pressure back on there.
for sure. Yeah, it'll just wedge it out. Maybe.
And so we might want to run just some biscuits, a couple biscuits. We'll do it
Just
together.
in the middle.
Yeah, and I have a biscuit joiner at home I can grab, and a biscuit joiner.
And then we'll glue it up.
Yeah.
This crack, this is the one why I took it off. This is the most visible. It's so like
Yeah.
dried into that position, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it clamps up. But yeah. If you, would you just want to take these home and make
Sure.
the holes first, or what?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'll label them. I'll get them labeled for you. Would you want to glue it there or here? Because we've got stuff here.
We can glue it here. I'll just bring the biscuit joiner.
I should still make calls though, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking of making three. Is that good?
yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do that.
Hey, Don. Just the biscuits will give it extra strength. So this is going to be
I think it's like horizontal.
Yeah, it's a flat wafer.
Yeah.
So it's not bending down. Well, down with it. Because you want it better. Yeah. I have a gallon. I don't know. I mean, gallon would probably give you more.
Okay. Well.
So I'll bring my gallon
Okay.
because it's centered before you.
Yeah.
Center it and then that way they're the same.
Okay. Do that then.
Yeah, we might want to put that up. And just this. Get a marker. There's a pebble to it. Might be anyway. See how that does. 2 o'clock though, let me check the chat here. It is 2 o'clock. We do have. Okay, here's a question from. We go in the quieter closet here. Here's a question from Kyle Thompson. Kyle says, "This is really interesting to see live. Found your channel through your cleaning video. I think I get hearing damage from being around that sander." It's not as loud as the camera's probably making it. I am pretty sensitive in my ears, so I'll put, we have ear protection around. I'll put it in pretty frequently. But anyway, let's get to your question here. Let's see, I've been trying to wear hearing protection around my tools, but it's easy to forget. Yeah, for me, it's not easy to forget. If it's touchy, I'll throw something on. So Kyle says, I had assumed up to this point that the hammers were simply manufactured to the right size. Do these need sized individually for each piano? Yes, and if you're talking about, yeah, they do. I mean, when you get a hammer, you can, depending on the situation, for instance, for Steinway current production, I can order a set of hammers that's already glued onto the shanks. So, but there's a lot of woodworking that has to occur on a hammer from when it's raw to the point where it's ready to put in the piano. There's an arc on the tail. Let me grab one, I'll show you here. Discuss a few things. So look at this. Let me flip the camera. So when we get, almost flipped it, there we go. Okay, so when we get this hammer, the molding is actually, now for Steinway, I can order them with a lot of the woodwork already done with their routed shapes and everything. And their radius that they put. There's a radius on here, okay? Otherwise this would go back and be rectangular and end in a square, okay? So the length has to be trimmed correct. First of all, let's start. The very first thing I would do if I got a raw set of hammers, okay? I would drill the hole the correct distance from the center of the hole to the top of the hammer for that piano, so that when it's raised up in the piano, the shank is right where it needs to be when it's going to hit the string, okay? Then
Then what I would do is I would taper the hammer, okay? If you look here, down on it, it's got a taper on the sides. That takes off weight, okay? So the tail is thinner than the felt up there. So here we have a jig, you know, you have some kind of a jig that you can taper those evenly to a certain width here, which is usually about the width of the back check that it goes on to. I won't show you that, but, and then the hammers need to be coved. Now they might be coved before all that. This coving is to remove additional weight, okay? That's not a very aggressive cove. I could make that more aggressive on this set of hammers if I wanted to remove some weight. Then you need the proper distance from the center of the hole to the end of the hammer, the tail distance, okay? That has to be done. Or you need to order, you know, to your specifications, or if you get it from the manufacturer, you can order them pre-done. But for instance, if I ordered a set of Hamburg Steinway hammers, I would have to do all this here in the shop. So a radius is sanded on that for the tail so that it can catch smoothly on the check that's down there when it operates in the piano. Okay, and then this coving like I mentioned. And then and then the tail length. So, you know, you do several operations on these to take off weight and to get them drilled properly. And look at the drilling, the angles, there's an angle drilled onto that. That's a boring angle. The base goes the opposite direction. These lean to the right, these lean to the left, but look, as I go up the scale, they lean less and less. And that's to match the overstrung pattern of the strings, okay? There's an angle to those. And every piano's gonna be different. Now, for Steinway, these hammers, these same sets of hammers, they use for all their smaller pianos, smaller than an A. So you're going to have some differences from the boring to the length. You know, there'll be some things that are the same. And so for the most part, I can order these from Steinway. At least they're drilled, they're tapered, all that. But as far as where you hang them on the shank, that distance has not been standard up until like 90s, I think, 1990s. And so they put the pianos together a little differently. So you might end up with something slightly different. And let's see. Yeah, the frequency on that die grinder is pretty beefy, but it's not actually putting out that many decibels. So, but anyway, that's, yeah. So now usually though, most smaller pianos, you know, you could assume that you'd be able to pick a distance here to hang those that worked with the piano and just have it all the way straight across. But where we're trying to get a real fine concert instrument set up here, a 9-foot, there's some subtle differences that'll open up the tone a little more in the treble if we hang them differently. And also I want the case parts to fit really nicely. And so on this piano, I set it up so that these, because these blocks and their adjustments only go so far back and forth, right? So I've set it up so it can be in the midpoint of its adjustment and still be at a great place for the string where it gets the maximum sound and the good quality sound. So yeah, there is a little bit of custom job on these for sure. That's a good question. Thanks for asking it. So I'll just carry on here. Go cut these molders.
Okay, let's see if we got the ground surface. I'm gonna sand that out a bit. That one's pretty good. And then that. I'm gonna sand these a little smoothly. There's no sponsorship going on. Alright, I sanded out a little smoother. I think that's good enough, almost. Keep at least from doing damage here. On these calls.
This is softer looking back, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
If there's any
So I just got
compression-
3, that's good enough, right?
Yeah, that's what we got.
And then that one. I just
Yeah,
gotta
if
sand
there's
them
any
smooth.
compression, it'll be these compressing against
That's
this.
soft. In fact, you'll have to work hard. These don't just bust in half. They'll just fall apart.
What will probably happen, because this is at an angle, is it'll bite into the top edge and actually create the profile we want.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because if it's upside down like this, it'll force it down, right? If anything, rather than up. Oh, I see what you're saying. But make that profile in the wood.
Yeah, it'll just press itself into the
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna label things on this piano. Let me grab some tape. working on myself here. Have to make a new one of those. That's not too big a deal. Just some pill bottles here. Whoops. There. There we go. Now, back to the hammers for our final section here. Did you get my note on those?
Yeah, I didn't get it until like 4, so I had to
We were like, the last set, he was like, some of them go on in the front. I was with grandma. I'm like, on the front. I thought it was real. I was like, holy shit. You did put them on. But now you can, right? No, like, okay.
yeah.
So the players will just have to do something for us. Actually, we played it well here. So, yeah. I know. So, really what we should do here, well, just rub them out this side.
Alright. Is there a way I can use that?
We can look. We'll go with some, yeah, we have to go pretty deep on this for sure. You know what we might want to do is put the other wheel. I mean, I'm almost there. We can do that. I feel it's still hot anyway, but or whatever.
Yeah.
Keep
So I'm just at least do like a couple inch swath, you know.
Okay.
And then what to do.
Just a little spot.
Just do a little swath. That'd be one swath. The one area, because I didn't have to get loaded enough for it. But I'm almost there, right? You know,
Yeah.
you want to go all the way.
Okay. Alright, I'll do that.
Now we know. I'm just glad.
So,
It's all cool. I'm just glad it wasn't me. And I was like, was I like really spacing it one day? Okay. So, I just learned something really cool for me that might give me some points at home. This Fast Orange cleaner, you know, it's got like kind of the pumice kind of grit to it. I had permanent Sharpie on my hands, took it right off. And I have little kids that color all over with markers. There you go, Fast Orange, little kid hands, clean. If you ever have to get them clean in a hurry. Did you know that? This permanent marker, this will take it right off your hands. When you have a 2-year-old, you'll be more excited about that, Landon. Okay, so these are dry enough. I can pull them up off of here. Then we'll set the jig for this next section. A few minutes of hanging and done. I think we're doing okay. Line up the tails here. Line up the shoulder thing.
So you cook for your wife on Mother's Day?
She wanted to do, you bake like Papa Murphy's pizzas so that we didn't have to do any preparation. So we went and got the pizzas, and then I left them in the back of the car for 5 hours and forgot they were there. So then I ended up cooking, and we had a bunch of shrimp. And so she wanted like a kind of a Mexican rice shrimp thing with peppers, and we had the ingredients for it. So I did that, and then I made that like way too salty, the rice. So I had to rinse it out like in a colander. I rinsed it through the rice after it was cooked, but it actually worked, and it was just right.
Oh, good.
Stuck it in the oven after that to kind of desogify it, you know. Okay. So let's glue these remaining ones on 70.
How about you, Landon? Did you cook for your wife?
did I treat her?
Did you cook for her?
We went to my mom's house.
And she could.
And she
We
cooked?
all helped. My wife helped us all make it.
Oh, your wife did.
Yeah.
So you honored your
I guess
mom.
She didn't feel like motherly enough to sit back and
Back in, brother. So there's a wise man right there. He did everything he could to sabotage it, so his wife will have no idea.
Like, that's it, I'm doing it myself.
I'm notorious for over salting stuff.
You know, on occasion I'll do that. I have a daughter who likes it that way. She really likes it. So whenever I've messed up, she's like, I don't know what everyone else's problem is. I like it.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I see now why sometimes some good cooks, you know, they'll leave it a little more bland and you season it yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not the way.
I always forget to salt stuff. When I make food.
You forget to salt it?
Yeah.
What
I'm
like
always like, alright, add salt later.
that's like but if you're breaking bread or something, that's like game over, right? Have you ever done that? Like forgotten the salt in bread?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
a dough recipe, like yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's stuff that's like, it's okay to salt it later. Like casserole.
See, it's better to mess up that way than the other way. Trust me. I have too much experience with that. Or either that I make it way too salty, or way too spicy, like if we're doing curry. I'm like, well, we're not gonna get the flavor if we don't get more of that paste in there. And then it ends up being way spicy. But then I don't mind because no one will eat it but me, and I'll just like,
So when you grill steaks, have you ever grilled steaks?
yeah, not a ton,
Salt
but
them an hour before you grill them. Salt them pretty good, and then just let them sit, and the meat will absorb the salt down into it throughout the process. I learned that watching a cooking show.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say from your brother, who's a chef.
No, he doesn't teach me nothing.
Oh, okay.
His attitude is, oh, cook it.
Good to know.
So have you ever had Hasselback potatoes? Where they're cut like an accordion?
That's what you made yesterday?
Yeah, Hasselback potatoes.
Did you have a meat with it, or is it just loaded
Yeah.
with like?
So these are loaded with bacon, sour cream, cheese, butter. So what you do is you cut them, you take chopsticks, set the potato in between chopsticks so the knife can't cut too deep, and then it opens the potato up, and then you wipe butter and olive oil mixture in between each slice and then bake them for 50 minutes. And then bring them out, and then you take a butter and garlic mixture, paint over them, and then put cheese, put them back in the oven for 10-15 minutes, pull them out, sour cream, chives, and bacon. So kind of like a loaded.
That sounds good.
I like that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
And so then I also made New York strip steaks we got at Costco.
On the grill.
Yeah. They were thick. They were literally this thick. I mean,
How does she
I
like?
had 2 extras.
How
She
did-
loves steak. That's what she wanted.
How does she like it cooked? Like done?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. That's me too.
Yeah, I've got my whole family. In fact, I cooked my one son. He had a little steak, my 11-year-old, and I cooked it. His was medium, so I mean it wasn't medium rare. It still was pink in the middle, but it wasn't like as
Yeah.
medium rare, as the rest. And he was complaining. Oh, Dad burned mine.
Oh, complaining that way.
Yeah,
He wanted more blood.
yeah. He's like, it's not red enough. You burned it, Dad. And then my son made.
Sure.
What it came up.
Yeah,
It's
that's the one.
fine.
That's the one. It was hard to find.
Well, the aisle, it wasn't in the aisle that
That
they
it
sent
said it
me,
was?
and then I checked the website again, and it wasn't in the aisle they said either. But I found it. So,
Wow. Thanks, Mark.
here's your keys.
Everything go okay at Danes?
Yep. I had Timothy there to help me.
Uh-oh, Timothy was there.
You want me to go back to Jimmy?
Have you ever had Brazilian cheese bread?
Yeah, that sounds good to me if you're good with that.
Yep.
Yeah, my
I'll go
son
with that.
makes them.
Oh
Is
yeah.
there an
That's his
outlet in there?
specialty.
My phone
Yes,
is
yeah,
running
it's
out of
behind the
battery.
crate on the back right side. So if you need an extension cord, there's some cords over there.
Probably gonna keys, and at least just kind of put the front step.
Let me make sure my system.
Okay, it's almost 2:30 here. I'll check
is
the
my
chat
stick,
and
my
see if
double
anyone has any
frame.
questions up to this point about anything.
Yeah.
Appreciate the question that came already.
It just like the red was. He had a little more gray.
Let
on
these
the top
dry
and bottom
for a
than
bit.
we wanted it because the rest of ours were kind of pink all the way. You know, with just a nice cross.
Yeah. You guys are all medium rare people.
Yeah.
I am.
Nice.
Okay, let's see if there's any comments here. Any new questions in the chat? Follow-up question. Yes, perfect. Okay, from Kyle Thompson. Kyle says, I may have missed it at the beginning of this. Oh, I just deleted it somehow. Pull it back up. I may have missed it at the beginning of the stream. You have the outermost ones done first and then lined the rest up with the jig. How do you decide where the outer ones go? Yeah, I'll show you. You know, if you check the stream from the other day, and I realize they're kind of hard to weed through, that's a lot of material, but you know, just zip the runner around. Basically, let me flip the camera around, I'll show you. So, we purposefully left, so on this is the piano that's going on this D. We purposefully hung these sections where I knew they would work and where I wanted them, okay? And that was basically duplicated off of what was there on the piano before, for the most part. And then we hung this hammer and then this one as a sample at that same distance, okay? And then we stuck it in the piano and we listened to the piano basically. We indexed things where we wanted to move them based on that. And even on the bass end, I decided I wanted to move things a little bit so that it works with the case and we get the best sound. So I go over that in detail. I just did that Saturday, so that should be the last stream. You can kind of check through it. You know, in general, it's the most important thing is the sound up here in the treble. And then when I got the distance that I want, right, then I drew a center line on my hammers, set my calipers to the right distance, and that helps hang them. And then the square, this is my hammer square, helps me square them up, everything like that. And yeah, I see Kyle that you said then that you're willing to go through that stream. I appreciate that. But that is a good question, yeah. But essentially, if I were to sum it up, you wanna see. Usually, we'll duplicate what's there for rebuilding a piano. If I'm redoing an action totally, you know, I want to find a distance basically where this treble hammer is going to strike the ideal place, and then when it's at that length, it's going to position the front of the action so that all the case parts fit together well, and everything works out. So that's a good question. Okay, so those are drying, and I'm gonna let them dry for a sec. And I don't want to disturb it. I could start trimming tails off, but that would kind of disturb that glue that's kind of loose. I got this new tripod for the camera. That'll help everyone feel a little less seasick maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up. And
Yeah, I just have a free state test when I'm done. Nice.
the stool.
Yeah. Like super close. Young high school.
Way to go. Look, down, I got a tripod.
You upgraded.
I have, well, because the other one broke. I don't know if it's, I mean, it's not fancy, but. Okay. Put this phone thing on here. Let's see. Put this on. Okay, I'm not sure. I can't take that off. Okay, that's good, I guess. For some reason.
Or you can clamp the rod like here,
But don't flatten the rod, whatever you do. Because then they're really hard to put on. Let's see if we can work a tripod. We can figure it out. Alright, we're in business. Except I can't figure this thing out. When I tighten this thing right here, it doesn't change this at all. It makes that worse. There we go. It was the handle that I needed to. Okay, so then I can loosen that and move that, and that tightens it. Okay, and then this is something else. Don't know what that does. Okay. Obviously we'll want to flip this around maybe. Or get it tight. Oh, that's good. That's good. Now we're talking. We can raise this up. Right, what does this do? Yeah, that's what it thought it should do. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing going. To our advantage here. That's a little short. We'll go to full Monty. Of course, it does take up kind of a big radius of a footprint, doesn't it? But that's okay. Now we have complete control over our stream. Let's see if this will open up big enough for my phone. It's amazing what $15 at Walmart will get you. Okay. As long as I don't break this, we'll be good. Okay, that's not bad. Let me show you from the other side then. We'll pull this around. It does take up a little more room than a helper filmer, but it costs less per hour. So I guess there's that. Okay, let me know if everyone thumbs up on the tripod, thumbs down. What do you think? Okay, while that's gluing, I have this other piano over here actually, and I've been wanting to do a before and after kind of thing before we rebuild it. Because Dallin's starting to tear it apart in a good way. Yeah, so let me see here. Let's see, this is my maximum height on a tripod. It's not bad. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll show you the front of this piano and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is a Steinway Model B. It's quite old, from the 1800s. It's a, there's the serial number. 99212. I'm gonna locate the action. We're gonna stick the action in and play this. It's kind of a before snapshot, okay? And so let me go grab the action. Hey, Dallin, do you want to help me get the action to this? I'm just going to play it real quick before we tear it apart. Strings are still tight, right? Strings are still tight, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let me get that action, and we'll put it in the piano.
I know, I thought when I picked it over it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the action that's currently in it. Go my way and you can drop it there. Thanks, John. Alright. So we'll grab it before and after here. At least we'll get the before today. So the lyre is off this piano. That's kind of limiting us. So I'm going to turn off our cooling fan just for a bit. And you need it off too? Oh.
I was just saying,
Yeah. Good idea, right?
it's kind of loud.
Hey, Dallin, can you shut off the fan for a sec? You looked at me like, oh man. It's just for a minute, Landon. Okay, so we'll get this. So Steinway B, serial number 99212. Let me stick the cheek blocks in exactly where they go so we get a true test. You know where the cheek blocks are there, Dallin?
It should be like on the side. So it's like, yeah, it should be on the roof. Yeah.
I see cheek blocks.
It might be under the.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we got the cheek blocks to locate the action where it needs to go. Let's listen to what it's like. And one of the reasons this is being rebuilt is because the pin block won't hold. And with the age that it is, I imagine it's pretty fractured in there. You hear that note way out tune, that's why. I mean, not bad, right? Most pianos, if they've been played a lot, will have a strong sound. Right? Plenty of loud sound coming out of there. As far as sustain, it's a little, it's choked, so that'll improve with stringing and things. This is gonna be hard for you to hear because the mic will kind of cut off the sound, but it's pretty good.
middle, of course, it's good. It's just usually here where we look, and there's a little bit of drop off in tone right here. Then it opens up again. So this area that we tend to work on a lot when we're voicing the piano for the first time to bring it up. On this piano, I definitely hear a drop off. The action's super light, you know, easy to play. Bass drums aren't that bad for how old they probably are. A little bit swallowed. It's a little more open. It's a little more swallowed. Replacing some things on here. So there's cracks in the soundboard. Oops, I got the phone tilted the wrong way. Let me show you here. Cracks in the soundboard. Crack, 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 and more cracks. In this case, we're not replacing the soundboard. They opted to keep what was there. We're gonna refinish it. We're gonna repair those cracks. This beautiful decal is gonna be duplicated and replaced. We're gonna be replaced. We're gonna replace all these dampers. Everything having to do with the dampers this time. The Model A, I kind of had issues with the way it damped. But this is gonna be an all new system. It'll work really nice. And it's gonna be, all the parts are genuine Steinway. They wanted to specify that. So everything that I could get from New York that was current production, I got. They want to keep the genuine ivory that's on here. I don't know if you can see, it kind of has a grain to it. I can't see it really well on the camera, but it's there. Kind of have to the glare. It has chips, right? They want to keep that. They want to keep it like kind of antique looking, kind of where there's hints of it saying this is original. The finish is going to be satin black. Let me see, I'm gonna look at my notes here. It's gonna be satin black, keeping the ivories, replacing the bridge. We're only doing cosmetic work on it to make it look better, but basically keeping what was there. I might replace all the pins and glue the new pins in so that I can be sure they're a little more tight in there, a little more solid. What else? Let's see. Yeah, go ahead, Landon. So, yeah, we're gonna keep, these legs are really beautiful. Also, that style of leg from this era. Oh, and another thing, usually we'll make all the hardware on here nickel because it looks really good, and it's kind of what they're doing now. But they want these cap nuts just painted gold to match the plate like they are now. These are brass. They want those just polished brass. They don't want them plated nickel like I would normally do. These will be plated nickel, of course, because that's what color they started out. So a lot of kind of keeping with the traditional on this one, being a lot of the old parts and then going genuine on Steinway. That was what they wanted to do. And so that's what we're gonna do. Again, this piano is playable, but not tunable at this point. So the main thing that we're salvaging is that we'll be able to tune it as an instrument and play it. The voicing's pretty strong, just not a ton of sustain going on. So we'll look to improve that. But so this is 99212. Let me look at let's go look at the age on this piano. I'll look it up. Let's see. I'm gonna go grab my book over here. So 99212. That puts us. By the way, I think just about anybody could get their hands on this Steinway book if they wanted. I don't know if you'd use it as much as I do, but 99212. That's going to put us at the turn of the century to the 20th century, 1900. That's very cool. And 1900, Christoph. Like 1900 on the, yeah.
On the yacht?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah,
This one's close.
yeah, that's 1901. 1903 or 1901 or something.
Yeah, they have super
Same legs, except slightly different patterns on the legs. Look at this.
Yeah.
This leg is, it's just because like they wanted to be kind of a handmade kind of thing. Like, was it be unique or just difference in who was working?
No. This is the 1800s design.
So they intentionally changed
Yeah,
their
they did change
design, what they wanted, from that to this guy here. It's very subtle, right?
Yeah.
These look like leaves.
You have the leaves and this design here.
Those look
It has
like
more
leaves
relief.
more.
So in your 1880s pianos, 1890s, and this is 1900s, so they would have had probably carryover legs. There's just a lot more depth in the carving, but it also
Yeah.
takes a lot more work.
Yeah, I'll see. So that's now. Now Dallin can rip off the strings. But you're working on hardware now.
Yeah, I'm almost done with this. So.
Then we can get to the exciting stuff where he starts ripping everything apart in a very gentle, professional manner, of course. And so, yeah, that's good. About 10 minutes or so, I'll check the chat if anyone has any questions or comments on things. I'm gonna go. I think my hammers are probably gonna be hard enough now to start working with them, getting them ready to put in the piano, so I'll do that.
I really need to work on my estimating skills for how much a box it is.
Make too much?
Yeah.
You do that on purpose because you wanted to make another ornament.
Well, I was like,
Did you put the heat gun on it?
yeah,
Like for a long time?
on this.
Yeah, on the when you put it in there.
Oh no, scared too.
Wow, just do it. It'll run in. Oh, because
Cause it'll run in.
well, that's what we want. We want that.
No, last time.
Where is that?
Time I never stopped running.
Where's the heat gun? You start push on this one where it ran in. I'll bring this thing over. We're working on the termite piano over here. So we want penetration. We've already hit this arms of this piano totally eaten out by termites. We've already hit it with a very, very thin, slow setting epoxy that ran in there. This one filled up pretty good. This side, it just drank it and went somewhere. So this epoxy is a structural epoxy we're using now that's a little more, it's very strong, but it's a little more viscous. And if you heat it with the heat gun, it turns really thin and it'll run in there. So hopefully that's the case. I think this piano was in Hawaii for a time, and that's where the bugs got into it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what the customer said. She wasn't sure though. And the epoxy kind of smells a little bit like peanut butter to me.
Oh my goodness.
Like fish and peanut butter. So if you wanted the experience of what it's like to be here, So
So it's
These arms will have to be re-veneered for those front sections after we put the pin block in. But we had to take it off. We had to cut into the piano to remove the pin block on this piano. That's the way they were built. Kind of not really made for the piano to ever be, rebuilt, but we want it rebuilt. So the original pin block was built out of different boards, glued together. We were doing it all out of one piece. It'll make it really solid. And it was, I'll show you what the original pin block is right here. Check this out. Well, Lennon's doing that. So I have this thing on, but we cut that off. All these layers. And termites got into this too everywhere. So, it wasn't didn't have much integrity. It was all warped and everything. So, but this is going to be a beautiful piano when we're all done with it. But that's kind of where we're at with that. So.
We're not refinishing it, are we?
Oh yeah.
There we are.
Yeah, totally refinished. Not a new soundboard again, but the soundboard will be repaired. We're going to put a new back action that's modern, because this piano is 1885, I believe, or thereabouts. And so we're not replacing the action design. This was made in Baltimore. This is a Kanabi piano. We're just putting new hammers on and reconditioning some of the action parts that were there, but a lot of the other elements will be replaced. So he's heating that up, and I'm hoping it'll, run everywhere it needs to run. It looks really runny.
Yeah,
So we might be there. We might have arrived.
I think we're pretty much.
Yeah, so we want that to dry a little bit above flush. We can sand it flat. Then we can put, oh no, this is not going to be an ebony finish. This is beautiful rosewood. What kind of rosewood is this again? Is it Brazilian or Indian or what is it? Rosewood? What kind?
Oh, East Indian.
East Indian rosewood. It's going to be refinished just beautifully. So
Looking like it's
we don't
there.
need to replace the entire veneer. The rest of the veneer is fine. They mostly got into the front area where it was just structurally an issue. So, and they didn't eat into all the different kinds of wood. They only ate into the front as far as we could tell. So by the time we're done with it, it'll be sound. It'll be a lot more structurally sound. And these veneers, when they're refinished, are one of my favorites. What were you gonna say?
I think we're there. Like, it's not really running down. So I guess time will tell.
Yeah. So I don't do the veneer. It's this guy over here is the master, and he'll make it look just amazing. And you can be the judge of that. We'll check it out when we're finished. Sorry. Hey Taylor.
Oh, right.
Was it a tube piano today? Is that why it's so long?
Yeah, I'm gonna try some other things.
So this glue's almost dry. It's dry enough. I can start cutting off the shapes on it. Yes, and Taylor, yes, the hanging of the samples works.
Oh, good.
It was easy to tell.
What grade are you? Yeah, it was a party.
Put this on the workbench to cut the hammer shanks off. Don't worry, you're not on camera, Taylor. Tim's not even here. I was making jokes.
Oh,
You're like, oh.
okay.
You know what to do down here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut these shanks off. I'm gonna leave in about half an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's tearing down this. You can start tearing down that too.
Because otherwise, Mom Hall went out the door. We're doing some repairs on this, getting ready to put the soundboard on. He's just finishing up. You could get on the computer and make up the final invoice for them and then email it.
Okay.
And I'll send it out. Yeah, I'll probably tear down the lines.
Okay, cool, great. I'm sorry, I know you're clearing out through the scene.
Oh,
Can
it's
you
not
say
much
you had a
rush.
good legal fee before you head out?
Sure.
Unless it's like,
No,
I
that's
gotta get this
no,
done
that's a
before I
good
go.
time for me. I'll stop the stream here. Let me just say goodbye to the folks. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll kick it up again. I'm just gonna be trimming these shanks, but I'm gonna be in a meeting for a while, so I'll start it up again when I do that. It might be tomorrow. Thanks, guys. See you later.